Hello and welcome to episode number 7 of the Giddy podcast. Today is Wednesday the 3rd of May 2017 and as usual I'm Helen and I'm coming to you from Surrey in the United Kingdom, where I live with my husband Tom and my 2 boys, Arthur who's 3 and Jasper who is very nearly 6 months old. He'll be 6 months old on Friday. I have no idea where the time's gone. So fast, it's ridiculous. Anyway, this is my knitting podcast where I talk about all my knitting, all the projects that I've been doing, objects I've finished, some lovely yarny goodness. So I hope you enjoy. I just want to say welcome back to any previous viewers. Thank you for coming back and watching me again. I'm glad you're obviously enjoying what I'm putting out there. If you keep coming back, and hello to anyone who's checking me out for the first time. I hope you enjoy it. And my brain's gone. Anyway, yeah, anyone who's coming back, anyone who's watching me for the first time, that's not going to set a very good impression, is it? But oh well. I hope you enjoy it, and if you do, then thank you for checking me out. Okay, so you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Giddy Helen. We also now have a Ravelry group for the podcast, which is the Giddy Knits podcast. And if you just search Giddy Knits podcast in the groups tab on Ravelry, you should find us. Thank you to anyone that's come and joined. And yeah, post. I'm looking forward to it becoming a slight... My brain is not working again this week. I'm so sorry. I'm going to try it. Right. Cup of tea. And let's see if I can get my brain in order. Ravelry group. Yes, we have a Ravelry group. Thank you to anyone that's come over and posted in it. And please come and check it out if you haven't yet. Come and post, and I'd like it to be quite a nice lively community where we can all chat and get to know each other. So yeah, please come and check it out. I always forget to say that anything I talk about, including things like the Ravelry group and where you can find me, anything to do with any of the projects I talk about, the show notes, it'll all be linked in the show notes, which should be down below the video depending on where you're watching this. And I'm going to try, I didn't last week, but from this week I'm going to try and put the show notes in the episode thread in the Ravelry group as well, so you should be able to see everything there. I'm not sure whether I'll be able to link everything, but the information will be there. See what happens. Okay, so I was going to just have a tiny little bit of admin before we get into the knitting. I just wanted to remind everyone, well, everyone who watched previously, and to let any new viewers know, that we have got a craft along coming up soon. It is the summer stripe along, and there's a few podcasters that are involved in the craft along. So first of all, there's Emily of AndersMill Knits, and she's the one who contacted me and asked if I wanted to be involved to start with. There's also Karen from SimplyStashless, Amy from Hudson Valley Knits, and we've got a new podcaster joining us, and that is another Helen, and that is Helen from I think it's Stitch with Sprite 966. I'll link them all below in the show notes as well, so go and check out their podcasts, and I hope you enjoy them. And yeah, we'll all be collaborating together to host the summer stripe along throughout the summer. Now, as I said last week, we're still confirming details, but hopefully by the next time I podcast we should have all the details ironed out and know exactly what's going on. But basically the idea is that it's a craft along, so we are including anything from knitting, crochet, spinning, weaving, anything fibre related. We're also including sewing, but it needs to be stripy. that is the major requirement. Obviously with a name like Summer Stripe Along, that's the thing. It doesn't have to be self-striping, so it doesn't have to just use self-striping yarn, but you can create your own stripes, but it needs to be stripy. And the craft along will start on the 1st of June and go until the 31st of August, so throughout the summer. We're not allowing works in progress, so if you're interested in joining in, don't cast on until the 1st of June. And there will be, I think we've said so far that it will be a 50-gram minimum, so no projects that are absolutely tiny. But I will confirm all those details in 2 weeks' time when I next podcast. But yeah, we have a Ravelry group. There are some posts. There's a chatter thread open in the Ravelry group. In fact, I think I'll open a chatter thread in the Giddy Knits group as well, so that we can sort of start chatting about any ideas people have got. Yeah, so come along and join. And did I say what the craft along group is called? I don't know. I'll say it again anyway. So it is the Summer Stripe Along Cal, but C-A-L. I'll put it on the screen so that you can see it. Okay, that is it for admin. Let me, oh, I nearly knocked my water over. Let me just have a little bit more tea and then we will get into the knitting content. Okay, so this week I have got for you, I have got a finished object. So I'll show you some progress on my works in progress. So that's quite hard to say. I have got a new cast on. I have got a little bit of yarny goodness. And then I'll finish up as usual with my behind the scenes section where I tell you a little bit about what's been going on just in my life in the last couple of weeks. So let's dive in straight away then with my finished object. So I have finished Jaspers' jumper, and here it is. This is the Flax Light pullover, Flax Light sweater by Tin Can Knits, which is a free pattern. It's part of their Simple collection. I really enjoyed knitting this. It's knit in one piece from the top down. Which is the first time I've knit anything like this, any garments like this. First time I've knit a garment like this. So I've not knit any adult garments. That's one of my goals this year, is to knit myself a garment. I've knit baby garments and kids garments in the past. I've knit some for Jasper. I hadn't knit any for Jasper. This is the first thing I've knit for Jasper. I've knit some for Arthur when he was younger, but they'd always been seamed. And I really wanted to try a top down in the round jumper, so here it is. And yeah, so easy, and I absolutely loved knitting this, and I'm really happy with it. And I said before, the yarn for this, I knit this out of Sirdar Snuggly 4-ply. See if I can, there we go. In the Little Leprechauns colourway, but it's colour number 462, which you can see quite there. And I've said before that, yeah, I wanted this to be bomb-proof. So this has got no wool content in it. It is 55% nylon, 45% acrylic. But actually, it's really soft, and I quite enjoyed working with it. I wouldn't mind using it again. And it is just this lovely sort of, that's not really coming out on the camera very well, but lovely sort of green colour. So yeah, I'm really happy with this. And I plan, let me just switch my notes to make sure I don't forget to say anything. I plan to knit another one for Arthur. This one is too big for Jasper. This is in the age 1 to 2, so this will fit him next winter, which was the plan. And I'm, pardon me, I have plans to knit one of these for Arthur, but I'm going to do him a stripy one. In fact, I've actually ordered the yarn for it, so that should be coming soon. And yeah, I'm going to knit this pattern again, but I'm just going to change it up and I'm going to make it stripy. But yeah, a really, really good pattern, especially if you want to try knitting something top down in the round for the first time. Tin Can Knits, the patterns are fantastic because they actually they have links to tutorials. On their blog, on their website, they have loads of sort of step-by-step bits to teach you anything you don't know. So it's fantastic. Yeah, I didn't need to use those, fortunately. because I mean it's quite simple. There's nothing complicated in terms of the stitching. It's just the construction. But the pattern is very, very, very well written and really, really easy to understand. So yeah, so that is my finished object for this week. My Flax Light by Tin Can Knits. And yeah, as I said, I'm really, really happy with it. So that's going to get put away in the cupboard, ready for Jasper to wear come the autumn, winter. He'll be one in at the beginning of November. 5th of November, he was a bonfire baby. So yeah, he'll probably start wearing it slightly before his birthday. But come autumn, this will come out and he'll be wearing this. Hopefully, along with a few others. Okay, so moving on now. Let me just shove that down on the floor. Moving on now to works in progress. What have I got to show you this week? I felt like my knitting time this week was a bit derailed. I've done quite a lot of knitting this week, but one project in particular has taken up a lot of my time, and not in the most pleasant way. So I shall start with this. This is my 3-colour cashmere shawl, which is a paid for pattern on Ravelry by Joji Locatelli. And I absolutely love it. It's the pattern is fantastic. It's really, really well written. Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Apparently I can't count and do lace at the same time. In fact, I can't do anything and do lace at the same time. But oh well. So let me show you where I'm at. And in fact, let me try and pick a bit where the lace is correct. Yeah, I don't know where the lace is correct. Oh look, there we go. So here we are. Oh no, I'm going to give up. You'll see the mistakes. Anyway, so here it is. No, it's just being funny. Oh no, there. Camera's the wrong way around in my. There we go. Right. Breathe, relax. My brain will work. Okay, so here it is. This is my 3-colour cashmere shawl. And you can see from the progress keeper that last time I showed it, I was still in the middle of that purple section. So I have put a considerable amount of work on it, bearing in mind that there are 430 odd stitches on the needles currently. It takes quite a long time to get through a row, so I don't think that's too bad. Frustratingly, the lace should have been a lot further along. This, I kept miscounting. I don't know, I was trying to watch TV and do it at the same time, and I got off somehow, and then I ripped it back. I put in a lifeline at the top of the purple section because I was having to rip this back so often. It was driving me mad. So yeah, I had to rip it back a couple of times, and in the end I just gave up. After I'd ripped it back twice and then still got to the end with a mistake, I kind of gave up. I got to the end with the right number of stitches, but it wasn't quite in the right place. So I'd obviously missed a yarn over at one point and added in an extra yarn over at another point. Anyway, I gave up. So basically, this is going to have mistakes in. But I've said this before on the podcast as well. When I'm doing something new to me, and a shawl with this much lace is new to me. I've done a little bit of lace knitting before, but mainly on like the front of a baby jumper or something like that, where you're only working with like 40 stitches at a time, and there's not really a lot of room for mistakes, not a lot of space to make that many mistakes, and it's really easy to notice if you do. So this is my first time knitting something with this much lace, and it isn't complicated. It is, you know, I didn't really have to look up any of the stitches. I kind of knew what I was doing. It's purely the counting aspect. So this is what the lace should look like. Let me see if I can show you this. Yeah, there we go. So this is just the first, sort of section, and then this repeats. Let me see if I can just get this to focus on that rather than on me. There we go. Okay, so it does these sort of chevrons of lace, and these bits are right. These bits are correct. So I know that for the next row when I carry on, if I can keep my stitch count right now, then it'll be fine. It's just if there's only one row that has a mistake in it. And you can see, if I find the bit where the mistakes are, yeah, here we go. You can see it's just slightly off. Which I'm trying to show you here. Yeah, so the bottom row and the top row are correct. It's just this middle row where somehow my lace hole went out of order. But from the next row, hopefully I'll be able to correct it. What I've actually started doing now, a friend on Instagram suggested using lots and lots of stitch markers. I don't have enough stitch markers to mark every single repeat of this. But what I have taken to doing is putting a stitch marker in, just putting in one of those removable ones, and putting it in at the beginning and then the end of each repeat. And then I've just been doing that because then I make sure I count my stitches for each repeat, so I know that I've not missed a yarn over, I know that I've not missed a stitch, I know that I've got the right stitch count. And then I just keep doing that, and then when I've run out I can just take them out and keep going, and it helps me concentrate and it helps me keep focus, which is how I've managed to get that second row correct, that third row, sorry, correct. But yeah, it took me, I spent nearly 3 days worth of knitting time on this, trying to get this right, trying to fix it. You can see there, this is the section that's right. And in the end, I just accepted the mistakes. And I started to say earlier, but I don't think I finished. Yeah, what I said on the podcast before is that I don't mind mistakes. If I'm doing it on a new to me skill, and like this is a new to me skill, then when I look back, I'll look at this project and I'll say to myself, that's where I learnt to do that. That was the first time I attempted that technique. I attempted that amount of lace, and that's where I learned how to do it. And I know now, next time I do lace knitting, I need plenty of stitch markers. I need space. I can't do it while I'm watching podcasts. In fact, I could almost blame Katie from Inside Number 23 podcast for the mistakes in this shawl, because I was trying to watch her podcast at the same time as trying to knit this, and I kept getting distracted by all her lovely projects. But yeah, so I'm still happy with it, and I'm definitely going to carry on with it. But I'm quite happy with the amount of progress, despite having to rip the lace back 3 times and it taking forever. That's not a bad amount of progress. I have actually ordered some longer needles, because this is getting very, very bunched up on here, and it is quite hard knitting it as well when it's this bunched up. So I have actually ordered some longer needles that should be coming soon, so that'll be good. But yeah, so here it is, my lovely shawl, as best as I can show it at the moment. And I'm so close. I've got 3 more chevrons of the lace to do, so not much, and then just the border. So I'm so close to finishing this. I don't know if it will be finished in the next couple of weeks, just because of the amount of time it takes and finding time where I've got peace and quiet to actually be able to concentrate on it. But hopefully soon this will be done. Okay, so the yarn that I'm using for this, I have shown you hundreds of times, and in some crazy ways, especially with the purple one. But anyway, let's show you just briefly again. So this is Stranded Dyeworks, and this is her Oasis Fingering base, and this is the colourway Spook, the light grey. The dark grey is again Stranded Dyeworks, and also Oasis Fingering, and this one is Highway Code, and it's just this gorgeous tonal dark grey. And then finally, which actually I finished with this colour, so this is how much I've got left. This is the Sparkleduck in Who Needs Chocolate, and that is coming up so well today. you can see the Stellina in there. So this is their Galaxy base, which is a 75% merino, 20% nylon, and 5% Stellina. And this is Who Needs Chocolate. And yeah, you can really see it's this gorgeous sort of I don't know, really variegated tonally, kind of navy, purple, magenta, really, really gorgeous. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this yarn. And I've forgotten now how much this is, but this is nearly 50 grams here. And my original plan with this yarn was, I initially thought about turning this into Mercury socks, which I think I might have said on my first podcast. And then when I saw the pattern for this shawl, I thought, no, this is perfect. This will really show off this yarn. But I've got enough left here to maybe make a pair of Mercury socks and do it with contrast heels, cuffs and toes, and I should easily get a pair of Mercury socks out of that. So that might have to be a plan. But I'm definitely going to put some of this into my blanket, and yeah, I'm happy I've got quite a bit left. So yeah, as I said, there was Sparkleduck. I've got to show their label because I absolutely love their label. And that is their Galaxy base. Oh yes, and I don't know if I said the colourway is Who Needs Chocolate. And then the other two are Stranded Dyeworks. There we go. The Oasis Fingering, and those two. So the light grey and the dark grey were both 75/25 merino nylon. And yeah, I love the Stranded Dyeworks yarn. I bought these at Unravel along with a couple of other colourways, and it's all gorgeous and lovely to knit with, and I really, really, really want to buy more. Okay, and I'm knitting these. I always forget to tell you what needles I'm knitting them on, and I don't know whether people are interested, but if you are, these are being knit on. This is being knit on 5mm Knit Pro Symphonies, which are the wooden ones. Yeah, and I'm quite happy with them. They're nice for this kind of thing. They're not too slippy, but they're also not too grippy. Okay, so that is my 3-colour cashmere shawl. Let me just put it back in the bag. Oh yeah, and it's still living, as usual, in my Shakespeare and Company bag. Just shovel this back in here. Right, okay, so that is work in progress number 1. Work in progress number 2 is on the Stranded Dyeworks kit. Let's go for this one, shall we? So this is my sockhead hat, which hadn't had any progress last week, but I have added a reasonable amount this time. So this is the sockhead slouch hat pattern by Kelly McClure, and I think it's a free pattern on Ravelry. And here we go. So here it is, and the little progress keeper there is where I was last time I showed this. So I have almost doubled the amount. I've finished the rib, and that's why it was taking so long, just because, let me see if I can get this to focus, hang on a second. There we go. Just because there's so much rib. It just takes such a long time. But I have finished the rib, so I am now on to the top of the hat, the stocking stitch section. And it's coming along nicely. This is brilliant for just taking out and about with me now, because there's no concentration needed. It's just knit, 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 which is brilliant. And yeah, so I've got, I didn't say about my other progress keeper, but this is my little progress keeper from, come on, focus. There we go, from Peggy May Yarns. This came in her Philosopher's Stone yarn box, and it's just a little magic wand. And then I've also got on here marking the beginning of my round. Come on, focus, focus, focus. There we go. No. There we go. I've got my little TARDIS stitch marker, and this is from Owl About Yarn. Yeah, so really nice. And this is being knit on, just check the size, my Knit Pro Zings. It's my favourite needles at the moment. And these are the 3.5mm Knit Pro Zings. Yeah, and I really like the Zings. They're very, very affordable, but very pleasant to knit with as well. And as I said, this is staying with the Stranded Dyeworks theme. So once again, there is her label. The light's changing outside. It's a really grey and rainy day. We've just had some rain, but it seems to have stopped. And now I think the sun's trying to come through the clouds, which is sending the light a little bit haywire. But sorry, there's not much I can do about that. Anyway, this is the yarn that I am knitting it with. Let's see. And I've shown this before again, but this is the most stunning yarn I've ever knit with. It really is. These colours are ridiculous. So this is, again, her Oasis Fingering base, which is the 75/25 Merino Nylon. This is the Naive Watercolour colourway, and it is stunning. There's just so many different colours in there, and this is actually showing up really, really nicely today. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. And it just knits up so nice. This is absolutely variegated. There's nothing else you can say about it. It is a truly variegated yarn. And yeah, it's just, come on, focus. There we go. It's just absolutely beautiful. All these different colours in here, and I can't wait to have this finished and wear it. It's slow progress, but I'm not planning on wearing it really until the winter or the autumn, so I'm not too worried about the slow progress. This is, as I said, my taking out and about with me knitting, and for the last few weeks, or for the last month maybe, I've not been able to knit at when I take Arthur to gym, because Jasper has been at that kind of stage where he wouldn't sit. You know, when I originally he would sleep through gym class, but now he's getting that little bit older. He won't sleep during gym class. He's awake if there's things going on and stuff like that. And we're not allowed to take the pushchair into the cafe at the gym, so he'd have to come and sit on my lap, and there was no room to knit. But in the last few weeks, I've actually been putting him in a high chair. He's sitting up now, so I can put him in the high chair next to me and give him some toys. And he's been quite happy just sitting in the high chair and playing, which has freed up my hands so that I've been able to knit a little bit, which has been really nice. So hence I've had a little bit of progress on that. Okay, so my next work in progress is my waving evening dress socks. I was hoping to have these finished for you this week, but my shawl errors got in the way. But I'm nearly there. So I have got one finished. I have a half finished object, a hoe as they call it. And last time I showed this, I was just where that little progress keeper is. And I shall show you my little progress keeper because this is really cute. This little, I can't decide if it's a, I think it's a rabbit, little bunny. And this is from Mothy and the Squid. It came with the rainbow yarn I ordered. So yeah, so these are my waving evening dress socks. And this yarn is opal in the waving evening dress colourway if you translate the German on Google. So this is the gallery range. Here we go. Let's see if I can. There you go. And the colourway name is just there. I don't know. I said it last week, didn't I? the Hendes Abendkleid. I don't know how to say that. And this is their 4-ply sock yarn, which is 75%, is it virgin wool? Yeah, 75% virgin wool, 25% polyamide. Yeah, so I've got one finished, and you can just see the colours there. And again, I said this last week probably, the German short row heel, which I'm really enjoying at the moment. And then I am just on the foot of number 2. So I've done the heel and I'm just starting to work down the foot. And I haven't matched them at all, as you can see. But I don't mind that. It doesn't bother me in the slightest that they don't match. It really doesn't. So yeah, I'm really happy with them. And these are being knit on 3mm knit prosings in Magic Loop, as I knit all my socks. Yeah, and what have I got on here? I've got a little owl stitch marker on here. If I can get it to turn the right way round, I will show it to you, but it doesn't want to turn the right way round at the moment. Oh, look, there we go. There it is, little owl stitch mark with a little bead. And that one came from Owl About Yarn. Is it with a set of stitch markers I ordered, or did it come free with a purchase? I can't remember. Yeah, so waving evening dress socks. These better be finished by the next time I podcast. I'm going down the foot. But as I said before, I was feeling the need for some vanilla socks, and these have been brilliant. I've really enjoyed it. When I've had a tired evening and I've needed something that I've not had to concentrate on, these have been absolutely perfect. So yeah, really, really enjoyable. And I'm looking forward to having them done. So these will be pair number, ooh, I've lost count. I think they might be pair number 6 for my box of socks, which is, so that's for the box of socks Cal, which is hosted by Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast and Vine Yarns. And the aim of it, if you've not heard of it, which I'm sure most people have, is that you knit 12 pairs of socks in a year for yourself, and you put them all in a box, and then come winter you've got 12 pairs of lovely socks to wear. So yeah, so I think this is pair number 6, and being that it's only just the beginning of May, I'm well on track to actually do 12, which I'm really impressed with. I wasn't expecting to be, but I am a bit obsessed with sock knitting at the moment. Okay, and yeah, this is just living in one of the bags that I made for myself. Lovely drawstring, flat bottomed bag with the parrots and toucans on it. Okay, so that's kind of it for works in progress, really. If you've watched me before, you might have noticed that there was something I was working on last week that I've not shown this week. And again, that's because I didn't make any progress. And although I haven't made any progress, I want to talk about it because it is my Schrodinger's cat socks. I haven't even cast on the second one yet, so I've only got the first one to show you, but I will show it to you briefly. These were for Tom. I just wanted to say, so this was a test knit for Sally Jane of Pink Hair Girl Designs. And these are the Schrodinger socks. So it's this lovely sort of, sorry, here we go, pattern sock. If I show you them the right way up, there we go. It's a really, really simple pattern, but really effective. And the pattern goes all the way down the leg and then just along the top of the foot. And I knit these out of, I've shown this before, but I knit these out of Cascade Heritage in the pumpkin and moss colourways. But the reason I wanted to show them quickly and talk about them is that the pattern is now available on Ravelry. So they are the Schrodinger's cat socks by Pink Hair Girl Designs. And yeah, I really enjoyed knitting it. It's a toe-up sock. It was my first toe-up sock, and I think that's why I haven't cast the other one on yet. Partly I've just not been in the mood for a huge man's sock, and partly I just haven't got round to looking up how to do the Judy's Magic cast on for the toe again. And there's no rush to get these finished because, again, Tom's not going to be wearing wool socks until winter, so I will get him done. I will get them done for him, but I just haven't cast them on yet. But yeah, if you're interested in the pattern, it is available on Ravelry now, so go and check it out. It was a really fun, enjoyable knit. Okay, so I think that that is it for works in progress. So moving on now to new cast-ons. And I do have a new cast-on this week. So I discovered when I was going through some of my yarn and patterns, I discovered this pattern. Ooh, which is not showing up very well at all. Where's the light? There we go. I discovered this pattern. It's a hayfield pattern, and my mum bought this for Arthur, but she never got round to knitting it. And I sort of found it probably when I was pregnant or before that, I'm not even sure. Anyway, I found it at my mum's house and I said to her, oh, can I have it? If you're not going to knit it, can I have it? And I'll do it at some point. And she said, yes, of course you can. And I bought, when I first got pregnant with Jasper, before I couldn't knit, I bought some wool to make this pattern. And it's a Stylecraft one. It's their Life Chunky by Stylecraft. And it's a 75% premium acrylic and 25% wool. And as it says, it's a chunky wool. But yeah, so I saw the pattern and I found the yarn in the drawer and I thought to myself, oh, you know what, having just finished that other one, I'll cast this on. Also, because I kind of want him to have this for the summer. I'm doing the waistcoat for the summer. That is what I'd bought. Oh, come on, focus on that and not on me. There we go. That is what I'd bought the yarn for. Is the waistcoat. It's really simple, just a sort of a textured waistcoat, and I thought it'd be perfect for summer. But I need to get it started because the size I was going to knit is 6 months to 12 months. So really, it should be sort of fitting him soon. Anyway, so this is what I've done. So it was so quick. I knit the back and one side in an evening, but then it's chunky wool, so it knits up so fast. But yeah, so I've done the back and the two fronts, and I've joined the shoulder seams. So what I have to do now is pick up the stitches down the neck and down the front for each of the button bands, and then pick up, oh, I don't know quite, I think you do it flat, so I think you pick up the stitches and do the rib for the armholes and then seam it all together. But yeah, it shouldn't take me too long. But it's going to be lovely and cozy for those sort of colder summer days when you just need something to just take the chill off. So yeah, another little thing for Jasper, which is coming on. So hopefully this might be finished next week as well. Wouldn't that be nice if I could have a pair of socks finished, this finished? What, is anything else near finishing? Potentially a shawl? Not sure I'll get that finished. But anyway, yeah, so this is really easy, lovely, just a nice simple, I love how fast it's knit up because I feel like I've really achieved something, and this has only been like an evening and a half's work, and it's nearly finished. So yeah, really, really happy with it. I'll see if I can get it to focus on the texture. You can see the texture for you. It's just yeah, just really simple sort of garter, and then a little bit of sorry, there we go, a little bit of well, what I'd call moss stitch, but I think in America it's seed stitch, where you do the it's like rib, but it alternates instead of ribbing. Okay, yeah, so that is my waistcoat for Jasper, and that's my new cast on for the week. So that is all my knitting. This doesn't have a product bag. That is all my knitting. So shall we move on to some yarny goodness? Ugh, my tea's gone cold. I don't like cold tea. Okay, so I have got some yarny goodness this week. I said last week, didn't I, that it will probably all arrive at the same time and it'll look like I've got loads. It's not too horrendous. But a couple of these could come with spoiler warnings. And they're not quite all yarn. They're all knitting related, but they're not quite all yarn. Sorry, I'm just looking over while I'm talking to you, trying to decide what to show you first, because I haven't really thought this through. Okay, so we will start with a spoiler warning. The yarn I am going to show you is, first of all, is from the Peggy May Yarns Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets yarn box. I've had this for a week and a half now, I think. So hopefully everybody should have got theirs, but if you haven't, then don't look. So this is it. See if I can get it to focus. It's going to get really blown out. It is this gorgeous blue colour. And the colourway, she's called it Flying Forward Anglia. Oh, come on, light. I don't know if you can quite see that, the light reflecting off it from the window. And this, I don't know if you just saw it, this is a DK weight. So it's superfine merino in a DK weight, 225 metres for 100 grams. Yeah, and there's her label again. But it is this gorgeous blue. So it's a very sort of, I don't quite know how to describe it. It's kind of a sky blue, but also slightly, maybe slightly turquoisey. You can't, it's getting washed out a little bit on the camera because I'm in front of the window. It's the only way to get decent light. But it has got these sort of areas of not quite speckling, but maybe mottling, maybe with pinks and let's see if that's gonna. No, you can't really see them. Maybe a little bit there, but really, really pale sort of mottling on it. I have, oh, and also in the yarn box, before I get distracted, was a little I Love Harry Potter wristband, and I haven't even opened this, but I really should. Sorry for the crinkling. There'll be quite a lot of crinkling in this section, so apologies. Oh yeah, it's going to have to be opened. But anyway, before I open it, look at that washi tape. Come on, focus on the washi tape and not on my face. How cute is that washi tape with the socks? Anyway, let me open this. There we go. So it also with this lovely little witch's hat stitch marker, kind of like a sorting hat, I think. Ooh, I don't know if you heard that. That was Jasper through the monitor. Hopefully he's not going to wake up. We'll see. Yeah, so that was the yarn box. So I love ordering these yarn boxes because I really like not knowing what's coming. For me, I don't know what it is about the excitement of that. There's something about not having to choose. I mean, if I'm presented with a page on Etsy, for example, of yarns, and I have to choose which one I want, it's really hard. They're all so gorgeous and I want them all, and trying to choose is really, really difficult. So I quite like ordering the yarn boxes because it not only does it take the choice away from me, but I love that surprise. I love opening it and not knowing what's going to come. And I know that if something arrives and the colours aren't me, there'll be somebody I know that I could knit that for and that would love it. Definitely. So I really enjoy it. So I have plans for this. I think I know what I'm going to make. I haven't got a picture. I will try and insert a picture over here somewhere. But I'm going to make, I think, the duotone cowl? And in fact, I'm not even sure that I know who it's from. Sorry, I'm just looking it up quickly to see if I can tell you who the pattern is by. I might even be able to show you it actually if my phone accepts that there doesn't give you glare. Okay, Orange Flower Yarn it is. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And it's the Duotone Cowl by Orange Flower Yarn. You can see. Oh yeah, there you go. That's not too bad. So it's this stripy cowl, and I think it's knit as a loop, so it'll be nice and thick. And then you stripe it with the two different colours, but you change the thickness of the stripes. And there you go, so Duotone Cowl by Orange Flower Yarn. And you can see just how mucky the screen of my phone is. That's the joy of having a phone and kids. So that's what I'm planning to do. And I've actually got, when this came, I thought to myself, that looks like that looks like this almost identical colour to one of my hand-dyed yarns that I did very, very early on. So this is the hand-dyed one that I did. I'll show that bit. Anyway, it's Knit Picks. I just got bare Knit Picks Swish DK. So it's a DK weight. And it is, see if I can get this to come up on the camera a bit better. There we go. It's sort of a variegated. I don't really know what it is. I just did it. It was an experiment. But it is sort of it ended up as sort of a variegated, I guess, with these blue, pink, and purple areas in it. But the blue in here really matches. This is so not going to work, but we'll see what happens. Really matches really, really well with the blue of the Ford Anglia colourway. So I am thinking of putting these two together. I'm holding that one completely upside down. So professional. I am thinking of putting these two together to do the duotone cowl. I think they'll work really nicely. They're getting really washed out on the camera. They might be a bit better back here. They're still getting really washed out. I don't know where it's going to be best to show you them, but it's not too bad. I think they'll go really nicely together. So I'm quite excited about that. And there should be enough. It uses 2 skeins of DK weight. It should just about be enough to do that. But then I figured to myself, if it isn't, then I can always just, in fact, I've got another skein of this. In fact, it's down here. It'll be slightly different. I dyed 2 of these up together, but yeah, so not quite matching, but I can always add a bit of extra of this if I need to, if it doesn't quite go far enough. But I think the 2 skeins should be about right. Anyway, I've waffled on about that for ages now, so let's move on to more yarny goodness. I'll just shove that over there. Okay, so the other yarny goodness I've had is some mini skeins. So I ordered, and this is going to involve a lot of crinkling because I've not taken them out of their packets yet, but I think I will to show you. So I ordered some mini skeins from My Mama Knits on Etsy. And there's her card. They have, I saw these ages and ages ago, and here they are. Come on, focus, focus, focus. There we go. And they are zombie inspired mini skeins. So they're 10 grams, which is perfect because the squares for my blanket only take about 5, so I'll have a little bit left. Excuse the crinkling. And they are zombie inspired. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, and I probably haven't, but I am a little bit zombie obsessed. I absolutely love everything zombie. I think it kind of came about from watching The Walking Dead. The first series of Walking Dead got me into zombies, and I love it. Bad zombie films, good zombie films. I've read a number of books involving zombies. One of my favourite, which I really want to read again Stephen King's Cell, which is absolutely brilliant. I think the concept is that something happens to mobile phones, to cell phones, and they start turning people into zombies. Anyway, it was a really good book. So yeah, I'm a bit zombie obsessed, so I could not resist the idea of zombie mini skeins. And talking of zombie yarn, my obsession with zombie, I really want to get hold of some of the Desert Vista Dyeworks. They do their Zombody range. I want all of the Zombody range. I just wish they were in the UK so that I could order it and not have to worry about customs and not have to worry about shipping costs. But oh well, eventually at some point I'm sure I will do it. But anyway, for now, these are my zombie mini skeins. So there is this one, which is this lovely sparkly pink. So this one is called Brain Candy. And this one is a 75% merino, 20% nylon and 5% silver stellina, which you can see. And it's just this lovely variegated pink. And then there is Not So Fresh Zombie, which is this kind of grey with these speckles of different colours, which is coming out really nicely there. And this is a 75-25 merino nylon. Then there is Organ Donor, which is this really lovely sort of mauve, burgundy, red kind of colour. And again, this is a 75-25 merino nylon. And then there is, right, I can never remember what, I think it might say uh-oh, but anyway, I think it's uh-oh at the beginning. Anyway, sorry, this is, uh-oh, your eyeball is hanging out. And this is lovely as well. This is just, it's got these lovely red speckles with sort of greys and blues and pinks. Oh, come on, focus. There we go. So yeah, another really pretty one. And again, this is a 75-25 merino nylon. And then the last one is Last Night a Zombie Saved My Life. And this is, here we go, see if this will come up, because this one is really interesting. Right, come and focus on it, please. Here we go. So this is really bright and colourful with green and blue and pink and red and lovely colours, but I don't know if you can just see in there. Yeah, just about. So this is 75% Superwash Merino, 15% nylon, and 10% bronze stellina. And that is what those sort of blackish looking flecks that I think you can see are. They are the bronze stellina. And it's really interesting. I've never had a yarn with bronze stellina in before, but it is really pretty and really, really interesting. So yeah, so they are my zombie mini skeins. And there they all are together. So they will be going into my blanket as soon as possible. It's been really hard not to put these into my blanket before showing you. I was so tempted to put them in straight away. But I waited, I was good, and I showed you. So while I was ordering from My Mum and Knits, I also ordered some Progress Keepers. So again, there's the card. So it's the same shop, My Mum and Knits, on Etsy. And again, I'll link all this down below. But I ordered a set of Alice in Wonderland Progress Keepers. So I have got a little Cheshire Cat, a little focus. No, it's not going to focus on that one because there we go. A little cupcake. A a little mushroom with the caterpillar, so the caterpillar on the mushroom. Little rose. And there is the... Oh, hang on, let's hold that a bit better. There we go, the white rabbit. And last of all, little Ace of Hearts playing card. So they're really cute, and I just couldn't resist. I'm just going to put them back in the packet. So again, apologies for the crinkling. Okay. Okay, and then there's a couple of other little things that came as well. So one of them I am very, very, very excited about. So I ordered some mini skeins from Nora Georgians, and this was one of her mini clubs. I think so. This was the April mini club. So again, it's been a week and a half, so everyone should have arrived them, should have received them by now. But if you haven't, if you ordered the April mini skein club from Nora Georgians, then don't look. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I ordered 3, and I'm very excited about them. They're 20 gram minis, so here they are. I will take them out of the packet, but I just wanted to show you them in the packaging because it's got her lovely new branding on, which is really, really nice. So they're all 75-25 merino nylon, 20 grams, and here they are. So they don't have, well, she's not sent colourway names with them, but that's fine. But they are very, very springy. I've not opened the packet, and they just smell very sheepy and very yarny and amazing. So here we go. Let's see if I can show you these. They're very, very spring colours. So this one, ooh, sorry. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Let's show it like that. There we go. Is not focusing because it can still see me. There we go. It's got some amazing speckles and just gorgeous sort of blues and very pale. Sorry, I'm not even showing that on the screen, and I got distracted talking about it. Pale yellows and sort of greys and speckles of green, and there's some other sort of really random little bits of speckles you can just see there of red. So that's really pretty. And then there's this lovely sort of semi-solid tonal pink, and when you ordered it said you would get 2 variegated speckled and 1 semi-solid and tonal. So this is just a gorgeous semi-solid tonal pink, which is lovely. And then the last one, which I absolutely love, this just makes me think, I don't even know what it makes me think of, but it makes me think of like a Jackson Pollock-esque kind of painting with the splatter. And anyway, here we go. So it's just this very, very pale yarn with lots and lots of speckles. So you've got gorgeous, come on focus, purple speckles up there, lovely sort of pinks and blues and green speckles as you go down. It's getting completely washed out, of course, but yeah, it's a really sort of, it's a really pale, a mixture of pale greens and pale pinks in there. And yeah, I can't wait. These will definitely be going into my blanket, and I should have a good sort of 15 grams left of each of these once they've gone into my blanket as well. So they will get used in some kind of project in the future. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with these. And I just wanted to show you the little postcard that came with it as well, because this is so true. I have enough yarn, said no knitter ever. But her new branding's really, really lovely. I've got her business card as well. Sorry, excuse me, leaning forward. Just show you. Ooh, come on, focus. There we go. Nora Georgians. Gorgeous. It's embossed as well, so very, very nice. And then there's her details on the back. But everybody knows Nora Georgians. But I will link it all in the show notes down below as well. So yeah, so they are my lovely Ooh, Nora George minis. And one day, I will catch a full update and be able to actually order some of her yarn properly. Not that I didn't order this properly, these were ordered properly, but yeah, I was lucky enough to get the mini skein club, but her yarn sells out in minutes, and we've lost the focus. Her yarn sells out in minutes. Anyway, so just see if I can get that to focus on me again. Hello. No, you don't want to focus. That's fine. I'm going to show you some things close up in a second anyway. So here we go. So the last thing I ordered was from Owl About Yarn. And there's her details. And this was just some stitch markers. So this is the, there we go, I'm back. I'm in focus again. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone set of stitch markers. I've not taken these off the card, so excuse me for clanking, but hopefully you should be able to see these quite well on the card. Yeah, there we go. So you've got just a lovely red bead for the Philosopher's Stone, a pair of glasses for Harry, then you've got a witch's hat, it's kind of the sorting hat, sorry, and then you've got the chess piece for one of the trials at the end when they're going to get the Philosopher's Stone, and the same with the key. Sorry, let me just key from when he had to try and catch the flying keys at the end. So yeah, I just saw these and I thought, oh yeah, I needed a few more stitch markers. I keep finding myself being short of stitch markers. They disappear, don't they, so easily. So yeah, so again, that was from Owl About Yarn. She does lots of lovely stitch markers and bags and stuff like that. Yeah, so that is all my yarny goodness. Sorry, I'm clunking away with these. Yeah, so that is all my lovely knitting content for this week. There are a couple of things that I'm waiting for. I ordered the Back to the Future Yarn Club from Golding Yarns, and that dispatched yesterday, I think. So that should be arriving any day soon, which is very, very exciting. And I said I ordered the yarn for Arthur's jumper. I ordered him some Drops. Is it Drops Big Merino? No, Drops Baby Merino, I think it is. Because they had the colour range I wanted. I was really, really struggling to find 4-ply yarn in... This is going to sound daft. I was struggling to find 4-ply yarn in small balls. I didn't want to buy big... I mean, I could have got like Cascade Heritage or something like that. I didn't want anything expensive. I wanted something cheap. Dirt cheap. To make his jumper out of. Because, you know, I've said before, I want my kids' clothes to be bomb-proof. Anyway, Wool Warehouse have a sale on Drops at the moment. So I found Drops Baby Merino and I found the colours I wanted. So that should arrive. So I'll be able to show you that next time as well. Anyway, so moving on. That's all my knitting content. So I was just going to talk very briefly, have my behind the scenes section. So yeah, behind the scenes of the Giddy Knits podcast. I quite like saying that. What have we been up to? We haven't actually been up to a lot in the last couple of weeks. My aunt and uncle came to visit. They live in France. They come to visit quite regularly because they do, for their job, they do car boot sales. They go to what they're Vie Greniers in France, which is basically a car boot sale, and they buy all kinds of bits, like antique-y bits and things like that, and then they restore them and then they sell them on at antiques fairs in the UK. So they've come to do a few sort of local big antiques fairs local to me. So they often come and stay with us for a day or two when they're doing that, but that's lovely. So that was really nice getting to see them again. And Arthur always loves seeing them, and that was just very pleasant. A couple of nice evenings. They always bring some very, very nice wine with them because they live in France. So yeah, that was really pleasant. And then this weekend just gone, we went to visit a friend. We've got a couple of friends who live in Uxbridge, and we went and stayed with them. In fact, Kathy, my friend who lives in Uxbridge, she's just watched my first episode of the podcast. So if you're watching this one, hello. But yeah, we went to see them for an evening. So they've got a 5-year-old girl, and Arthur and Emily get along like a house on fire. And it's always lovely when we go there because they go off and play and we can just relax. It's amazing. But we decided to go for an evening. We've done it before with just Arthur, where we've put him down to sleep in their bedroom, and we thought we'd try it again with Jasper as well. But yeah, it worked fine. So we had a nice evening of playing games. Both boys went to sleep, and then sort of midnight-ish, when we headed home, we just had to kind of scoop them up and put them in the car, bring them home, and yeah, luckily they both went back off to sleep. So it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was tiring. The next morning we'd had a late night. Arthur had been a bit disturbed, so he was a bit tired on Monday, but it wasn't too bad. It works quite well for us, fortunately. But yeah, we had a lovely evening of playing games and lots of nice company, so that was really pleasant. And then on Monday it was bank holiday, so we went for a bit of a walk. I was feeling really worn out and grumpy and miserable, and actually the walk was the best thing we could have done. It really cheered me up. We had a lovely walk. We put Jasper in the rucksack carrier for the first time. We used to use it with Arthur, so that was really nice. And we took a little scavenger hunt for Arthur, where he had to find various bits and pieces and tick them off, and he really enjoyed that. So that's pretty much all that's been going on in the last couple of weeks. It's been really quiet. We haven't done a lot. So yeah, nothing exciting. But the last thing I was going to talk about was a bit more of a personal note, I guess. But I have rejoined Slimming World in the UK. I don't know if are they worldwide? I don't know. But anyway, in the UK, there's Slimming World. I've done Slimming World twice before. Once when we were first married, when I put on a load of weight, and I lost I lost nearly 3.5 stone then. And then after having Arthur, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, because I thought to myself, brilliant, I love Slimming World, it was fantastic. So about this time, I think so when Arthur was about 6 months as well, I rejoined and lost nearly 3 stone. Then I got to my target weight and lost nearly 3 stone then. So I kind of knew this time around. I thought to myself, right, well, it's got to that stage. Jasper's 6 months old now. I've not really, well, in fact, I've put on weight since having him. I had gestational diabetes with Jasper. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. I didn't have it with Arthur, but with Jasper I did. So from about 28 weeks, I had to be on a really strict low sugar, low carb diet. I was very lucky in that I didn't have to be medicated. I was able to manage it on diet, but I had to be very strict on that diet. I had to do blood tests, you know, the finger prick blood sugar tests every day, and record those. And yeah, I had to be on a very, very strict low carb, low sugar diet. So actually, in the last trimester of my pregnancy, I lost weight. But then since having Jasper and since everything's gone back to normal, we've not been very good. I think we haven't been good at all. So I've put on weight since having Jasper, which is fine. You know, it's fine. I've accepted it. It's not an issue. But it was getting to the time. He's 6 months old now. This is about the time I started with Arthur. And yeah, I just want to lose some of this baby weight, get back to what I was before I was pregnant. So I've rejoined Slimming World. And I love Slimming World. I'm not going to go into it too much. I just thought I'd share it because I'll probably share my progress a little bit as we go on. But Slimming World works for me. I need a group structure. I can't lose weight on my own. I need to be accountable to somebody. Yeah, the support of a group really works for me, and the way the plan works for me is fantastic. So I'll link for the Slimming World website in case anyone is interested down below. But hopefully from now on you'll be starting to see less and less and less of me each week. Anyway, I will leave it there. I haven't got a lot of pictures to put in, but I will put a few pictures in at the end. And yeah, so if you have enjoyed the video and me rambling on as usual, then please hit the thumbs up button down below, whichever side of the video it is on, I don't know. And also subscribe to the channel, because then you'll get notifications of whenever I put up new videos. And come and join us, as I said before, come and join us in the podcast group on Ravelry. I really would like to see people chatting and saying hello. I want to get to know you all. So yeah, that is it then for this week. Thank you very much for coming and watching, and I will see you again in a couple of weeks' time. Bye.